about this thing because they keep asking.
Hi, everybody. Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. That kind of sounds funny when I say that. Welcome to my quilting life. It almost sounds like a computer generated talking. Anyway, hi, I'm Tiffany. And today's video I'm going to still work on. This is part 2 of the Open Gate Quilts old school pattern, which is just a small little wall hanging that will look like that. But before I get to finishing this little project up, we're going to discuss the elephant in the room, in the chat room, that is, down there below that you guys are all talking in. So, as all of you know, I entered the SewingMachinesPlus virtual quilt show for their Quilt Fest, virtual quilt show, Quilt Fest. I entered that, and I have won, thanks to all of you, first place in the traditional quilt part. There was a traditional and a modern. I entered the traditional because, well, the stars are traditional of the quilt that I entered, and I won first place, which won me a Brother Persona PRS 100 single needle embroidery machine. Not something that looks like this. It's actually the kind that has the opening that you could put a hat thing on and embroider all sorts of whatever. It's that kind. So it's like 28 inches long by 18 inches wide. It's a pretty big deal. So it's going to come in a pretty big box. But since I have won that, I have not heard from them yet. They said they will be in contact with me. Since the winning announcement was on Friday afternoon, pretty much before the close of their day, I'm pretty sure they were backed up and busy with all the things they had to do. So, and I didn't hear from them on Saturday either, and they're closed on Sundays. And so I am hoping to hear from them tomorrow. If I don't hear from them by the end of closing of their store tomorrow, I will be calling them on Tuesday or emailing them. Either one is going to work, just because I haven't heard from them yet. But obviously they gave away like 20 sewing machines and tons of quilting related supplies. So I'm pretty sure they were still catching up with all that, as well as the quilt show part of their show, their quilt fest. So yeah, I haven't heard from them, but don't worry, guys. When the machine comes, you guys will know, because I will live unbox it, like live stream, unbox it, and figure out how to put it together on this desk, because I have nowhere else to put it because it is going to take up too much room. And trust me, I have measured every single table in our house, every end table, every little thing. I have a new little hope chest thing. I even measured that because I was going to put stuff in it, but none of it's big enough for this machine. So it's going to sit on this temporarily, on this desk, until we find a place to put it. So I'm thinking maybe turning 2 dressers that I could find on Marketplace on Facebook, into like a little stand for it or something. That might be a good thing. And then I can use the drawers to keep stabilizers and whatever's needed for the machine inside of it or something. I will figure it out. But thank you guys all for the congratulations on that. Thanking you all 100% for voting for me and supporting me, because I would not have gotten ever an embroidery machine if it wasn't for winning an embroidery machine. So it's amazing. It'll come when it comes, and you guys will know it. So let's get to finishing now last Sunday's project that I started on what was last week? The 13th? I don't know, whatever day it was. Anyways, so I made a couple of the blocks last week. They're all exactly the same. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I made 7, and I need to make 9. So here are my pieces that I need to put together to make the 9 of the blocks. So I'm just going to put this block right here, and I'm going to start sewing. I have my first border fabric, my second border fabric, and cornerstones, as well as binding. I pulled out some backing fabric and some batting so that I can do all that today. Hopefully be able to quilt the whole thing right here on live stream. So let's get to sewing this together. I just have to remember how the blocks were sewn together. So it looks like...
Just say hi to everybody again.
Oh, Hi, everybody. This time I'm not going to go through the names. I know you guys are here. I know you're here. And welcome to everybody that's new to my channel as well. Thank you guys for joining today. So I'm just going to start sewing and just get this done. Done. That's what I'm going to do. Get this done. I am still sick. I'm feeling better though. Starting to feel much better sick-wise. My legs, the MS problem with my legs is still going on. It probably is going to last a while, but I'm not worried. When I'm walking far distances, I use a cane. In the house, I really don't. I just, hold on to walls. And I haven't been standing very much, so obviously I don't have to worry about wobbling and falling. But sick-wise, I'm starting to feel better. I really still have a cough. I still have a runny nose. And I still have, I think it spread to my ears because my ears and my head hurt. Between my ears and my nose, it's like horrible pain. But I will live. I'm still on antibiotics. They put me on a 10-day antibiotic. So, yeah, I will get better sooner or later. It just takes time. But I did do yesterday. I got a hair up my butt and decided I wanted to film because I was behind on things and because I was sick, so I wasn't in the mood for any sewing lately. So yesterday, a random hair up my butt and said, "Hey, Tiffany, you're gonna film all the videos you need to film." So yesterday I filmed 3 videos. I edited 2 of them. So tomorrow you're gonna see one, and Wednesday you'll see another. And the day before that, I filmed on the long arm. So I also have that and another video to edit. So I still have 2 videos left to edit. But at least I got the sewing caught up. But I still have more things I need to film soon. I just, everything's ready to film it. I just haven't done it. Because today I sewed my Eric blocks. I call them my Eric blocks. It's Eric with Treasure Heart Creations. He is doing a 52 blocks in 52 weeks, and I'm sewing along with it. So I made those blocks today, last week's, because I was behind on that, and then I made this week's blocks while he was live this morning on his channel. I gotta plug in an iron. Oh, I got it. It's fine. Anyway, so
you're gonna iron yourself over there?
Yeah, just to get it done quicker.
Oh, you're not gonna let me iron?
No, I got it. You hear him? Not gonna let me iron? No fun.
I said no fun.
I'm denying the Iron Man the abilities to iron because I really just want to get this put together and started on quilting it. Because that's just what I want to do. Plus, he's helping you guys all in the chat by talking and entertaining y'all.
I'm telling her we missed her without her.
Oh.
Because of my shirt.
These while I wait for that iron to warm up. The one thing about, even though I love that this iron gets things so flat because it steams constantly, and if you guys are curious, it's called a reliable. It's a constant steam iron, and it's heavy duty, heavy. It's literally heavy and heavy duty. It does take a bit to warm up, which kind of sucks. Most irons get warm pretty quick, but that one takes a little bit longer, which is okay. All right, they're finger pressed. Just need to get them flat at the iron. As soon as it's done, let's see. Nope, still not hot yet. I'll just leave that there while it heats up. Anyways, let me show you guys. This is what I'm making again. Okay, that's what I'm making.
I can show a picture too while you're doing all this stuff at once.
And I even used last week for the first time a flying geese trimmer thing, the mini fit to be geese ruler. I never used stuff like this before because, well, I just made flying geese and trimmed them with a regular ruler because I don't need all the fancy extra rulers, but I tried it. It worked good. So that was a plus. Oh, yay, it's done. Let's iron. 4.
Do you embroider your quilt labels?
I monogram quilt labels right now. That's what I've been doing this whole time, is monogramming them and or writing on the quilt. I've been known to write on the back because I've given quilts away and they've said, well, can you sign it for me? And so I've signed the quilts physically with a fabric marker on the back. All right, so that one goes that way. That one goes that way. That one goes that way. And that one goes that way. All right, let's make 2 of these because that's all I needed to make. Yep. Yep. Okay. They'll look good. Let's sew them together. Line up, please. Thank you. Did I just break thread randomly? That's weird. And I'm using yellow bobbin thread because I'm trying to use up all my bobbins. So my bobbin thread has been different for like the last bazillion things I'm working on. Yeah. It does that when I take lots of biotin, which is what I do. I take biotin. One. And come on. Line up nicely. Are you wanting to say hi? Oi! He's 17 pounds, guys. Takes a second to pick him up for me. Say hi. Hi, everybody. This is Thumper. He likes to hang out in here only when me and Scott are in here together. Huh. Yeah? You want to go? Okay, go away.
He says, I need my 5 seconds of fame.
Yep. 5 seconds of fame. That's all the kitty gets.
Notice he was laying by my feet. So he wanted to be on.
Yeah, and he's sitting here next to me now, too. He's just sitting here looking like, what could I get myself into?
They say he looks like Grumpy Cat.
Huh?
They say he looks like Grumpy Cat.
Yes, he is the brand. Why was I going to say brand? The brand of cat. The breed of cat that Grumpy Cat is what Thumper is. It's a snowshoe. That's what he is. Except he doesn't have the smushed face. Grumpy Cat has a little bit more of a smushed face, like a birth defect, you know. And no, I'm not pressing any of my seams open, so they're going to be a little on the bulky side. But this is a wall hanging. So, and that's what it's going to be intended to be, is a wall hanging. All right, let's press these. One flat block.
Grumpy Cat's supposed to be a Himalayan Persian.
Oh, well, he looks like a snowshoe. I thought he was a snowshoe this whole time.
I don't.
All right, so now let's put the blocks together. And I think they just go side by side. I'm looking at this right now. Yep, so I'm going to lay this out right here so you guys can see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It looks like they just pointed them all up. You don't see the design anymore. It just looks like broken dishes. All right, so I'm just going to hook.
It does kind of look like broken dish, huh?
2,
You drop a dish and smash it, huh?
3. All right, let's sew these together. be some bulky seams. That's okay. Why? Because I don't care. 2 and 3.
Will you be making quilt labels for others now for free?
I have no idea exactly what we're going to be doing, but I do know this. I'm not going to be the only one using the embroidery machine because this guy is going to learn with me. Mr. Scotty is going to learn with me. All right, let's add the next 3.
What's the name of the block we're making?
It's not, I don't know the name of the block itself. It's just called, where's the name? It's called Old School. So the block could be called Old School. I don't know. The little quilt is called Old School.
What would you suggest for skill building?
For skill building, start with half square triangles. Or 9 patches, or I don't know, making disappearing 9 patches or disappearing 4 patches, you know, so that you can learn how to make the block, trim the block, cut the block, trim the block, make the block, you know, like the repetitive part of things. That way you could also work on your seams, matching your seams. All right.
Gwen was excited to see a response from you on Facebook. She put on a photo with a thread having a tiny bit at the top to finish several 104-inch seams.
Yeah, I respond on Facebook. I keep up with the group as best as I can. If I don't see the post within like the first, you know, like 30 posts, and I start seeing the same thing I saw the day before, then obviously I miss it. But 90% of the time, I get on there and see everything that everyone is doing. The only thing I slack on, honestly, is Instagram. I don't get on there as much, and on reading my emails. I'm literally behind with that because I do get tons of emails from like fabric places that I've purchased from and all sorts of stuff. And I enter lots of giveaways, so obviously I also get emails from giveaway stuff, and yeah. So I have to weed through all that to find emails from you guys out there. All right, I'm going to press this wonderful thing nice and flat, which requires some standing to do, but we will get it done. Okay, that seam is going that way. That seam wants to go that way. That seam wants to go that way. We're going to get this flat. I'm off camera right now. I mean, you can probably see my hand down there. But that's it.
Why don't you do some meat iron?
Because this is kind of a little funky.
Well, they're all saying that they got plenty of jobs for you to embroider labels and stuff.
Okay, guys. When I get it up and running and learn it, then...
They're all saying they have lots of jobs and work for you.
Well, I need all the... Well, I can't say I need all the work I can get because, honestly, I do tire out easily. But I definitely need to make a little bit more ends meet. Does that make sense? So here's the center part. And it says it should measure... What does it say? 18.5 inches? Boy, that's more than 18.5. That is 18 3/4 by 18 3/4. Looks like my 1/4 inch seam is a little on the scant side. All right. Yep, it's supposed to be 18 and a half. But we're just going to do it my way. So the first border is this guy. I'm going to do this my way. It says to pre-cut it, but I'm just going to cut off the selvage and sew it on, trim off the edge. You guys have seen me do this before. I have never had a problem putting borders on this way. My quilts still lay flat. So I'm going to do it the way I know how to do it. That way every side is equal and the size that it actually is. I'm not going to square anything up or anything. I just lay it on here nicely as if it was pinned on and cut the sides. I use my fingers to hold it flat, and I just fold it and cut it the size it needs to be. So this will be one side, and then that other piece will be the other side. So I'm going to turn it all the way around, and I'm going to attach this side to the side, like this. I mean, if you're having a problem with wavy borders and stuff like that on bigger quilts, then don't do it this way. Measure in 3 places, take the combined, the measurement of all 3 and choose the number that is the closest to all 3 numbers.
Embroidery thread now.
Do I have to what?
Buy tons of embroidery thread now.
Yeah, I got to save up for embroidery threads, stabilizers. So before I could do any business related stuff, I have to get all the stuff to do that stuff. So unfortunately, it's going to be a while. And I also have to pay taxes on this machine too, guys. So we're kind of like pushing it here this month, but we'll make it. Just thought I'd let you know.
We paid our regular taxes too this
Yeah,
month.
we paid our regular taxes too this month. So got things sort of figured out, but all the rest of the stuff that I need for the machine itself, I'm going to have to save up to get, or just buy a little at a time as I can afford it. Same thing I do with quilting. I buy a little bit at a time as I can afford it. This looks pretty. I like it better than the picture so far. All right, so now I need to connect to the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to...
What brand of embroidery machine, isn't it? Didn't you say Brother?
Yeah, a Brother Persona PRS 100 single needle embroidery machine. That is what I'm supposed to get. And it's supposed to come with a, there's a word for it. This machine also has a free motion quilting option. I won't ever use it for that, so I'm not going to need all that stuff, but it comes with the stuff to do free motion quilting on it. I mean, maybe I'll try it for video sake, but other than that, I probably will never use it because I own a long arm. So, and I hate to sit free motion quilt. I absolutely just don't want to do it. So, all right, this is going to be this whole strip almost right here. Just enough fabric. Huh?
Give you $20 for the tax man.
Aw, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. I'm just like, I watched a couple videos on the machine now since I won it, obviously, just so that I'm prepared for it when it comes. And I mean, it looks very user friendly. It looks easy to use. It doesn't look like it's going to be something that I'm going to struggle with, you know?
Gwen said you could make embroidery labels for those that don't have an embroidery machine.
Yep, I could make all sorts of stuff. I could do t-shirts. I don't know what attachments it comes. I don't know anything about embroidery machines, guys. I'm going to learn.
Daddy asked if you have an Amazon wish list.
No, I don't. I don't have a wish list. I don't have a wish list for any website. I don't need all that stuff. I would probably be filling it with tons and tons of things, and I would never be able to get my own wishes. Be like, yeah, that's 10 years from now. Sorry, I know. I'm weird. Wow, this really used up all the fabric. All right, press these, and we're going to attach the next two borders.
Brenda says, I want a hat with Tiffany's quilting life on it.
Well, I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what attachments it's coming with. And if I have to order a hat attachment, I already know for a fact that that stuff's going to be expensive. So I have to wait for those kind of things, guys. All right, there's that. You guys are overwhelming me with business, and I don't even have the machine yet. Just, that was funny. All right. We have 4 cornerstones.
Is that the machine that has power tools with thread uses?
I don't know exactly what machine she has. I know she has embroidery machines. I watch Becky's videos, but I'm not fully caught up on her videos. I know she has the same King Quilter as me. Not the same one, but she has the King Quilter 2 Elite like me. Not the same exact machine, though. All right, so I need, looks like it's just the whole strip almost.
Okay, what's the largest hoop size?
I think it's 8 by 10 or something. I don't know, guys. Like I said, I just watched a couple videos on it, so I'm not 100% on all that stuff yet. I don't know exactly. All right, I'm going to cut these two to this size. Why? Because I can. And that's 1 inch. Is that 1 inch? Ooh, it's 1 inch. I can use that later. And then one of these goes on each end of this. And then this is going to be the other 2 sides, which I attach to the quilt first. And turn this around so I can cut it to this size. It's exactly the same either side. Exactly the same. And there's 1 inch of fabric right there, too. You guys know I save all of my scraps. Well, anything bigger than 1 inch. Because I could use it. All right. Let's go this way. One of these on each end of this. So these are my cornerstones. There's no right or wrong side. Oop. Ran out of yellow bobbin. It's time for cream bobbin. These are all like half used bobbins, so that's why I'm going to run out a bazillion times pretty quick. Slide this under. And slide this under.
Okay, what was the virtual contest you won? It was Sewing Machines.
Yeah, Sewing Machines Plus virtual contest. Virtual quilt contest. Huh? I'm an affiliate for them, so if you guys are interested in anything from their store, the link is in the description below every single video. All right, I'm going to attach these now. One on each side. Match up my end. Put the other side on. Match up my end. Do what?
Do you put a sleeve on for wall hanging?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes I do hooks, but lately I haven't been putting anything on wall hangings, just been leaving them without a sleeve. One side. Now to add this piece right here and the other one on the other side. And I didn't pin anything. Don't feel the need to. Just gonna nest this seam right here and hold it as if it was a pin. What?
What kind of cutting mat do you have there?
I use Fiskars cutting mats. I do have an Olfa one in the garage, but I don't really ever use that out there anymore. It's like a emergency mat in case I need to bring it in and use it for something, I guess. It's really cut up and ruined. It's old. Nest this in.
Karen says that you have to email them on your win and send them your address.
That's for the people. They already have my name, address, phone number, everything from the entry of the contest. The emailing them is for people who won machines and supplies for the contests, for the giveaways. But either way, like I said, I will message them.
Sarah said her first cutting mat was plain green with no lines. That's what we have.
Yeah, that's what I have in the garage. The Olfa. Yeah. It's green with no lines on one side, and it has lines on the other side, though. Oh, that's why that seam turned under there. There's one. And there's the other side. See, I could have finished this last week, for real. There wasn't much to it left to do.
How often do you change your needle?
Every like 5 or 6 projects. I'm pretty lazy about needle changing.
And obviously, you're going to quilt this on the long arm, right?
Nope, I'm quilting this in here.
Oh, you are?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you'd put it on the long arm.
Nope, we're going to sit down and quilt it in here.
Okay.
Close my blade. Move this. So here is my wall hanging. Can you see it on camera? The whole thing.
I guess. I don't know. This is like a minute behind. Yeah.
Okay. So there's that. Now let's grab some. Do I want to use black thread? I think I want to use black thread. There's more black than anything in here. I have to squeeze behind the camera though, so it's kind of moving a little bit. Moving back. Okay. Even though my machine hates signature, we're going to try to run it through with signature thread. I chose a backing fabric. I have 1 yard of this right here, which has deer on it. So I'm going to use this deer fabric on the back. I'm going to turn the camera so that you guys can see over here. I'm going to press it first. And then I'll turn the camera. Yeah, I could long arm it, but I just figure I'll sit down and do it. I haven't used a walking foot sit down free motion or sit down quilt in a while. So that is what I'm going to do today.
Top thread on my Moxie long arm is too tight. Is that
You just have to dial the tension back down. If it's too tight, loosen it. Okay, I'm going to turn you guys facing that way so you can watch my backside while I put this together. So I have a nice big piece of batting right here. Should be plenty size that I need. I'm going to adjust this because I really don't need all of this. Just going to adjust it, flatten it out, lay the project on it. Smooth it out.
Kentucky ladies excited to see you sit down and quilt at the domestic machine.
Yeah, haven't in a while. So,
yes, it's been a long time.
So since this is together real quick, I'm going to cut off this excess because I don't need it all.
You need me to help
And
you
then
hold
I'm going
anything
to
over there?
spray baste it.
You need me to help you hold anything over there?
No, I'm good. I just need to chop off this excess because I don't need all this excess. Okay. Don't need all that. And we're going to turn it one more time because I really don't need all this down here either. I'm making it about 2 inches bigger all the way around. Okay. Now I'm going to spray baste it back up here again. What I'm going to do is put the section that is in front of me first. Smooth it out again. And this stuff stinks. I use Dritz basting spray when I do anything that needs basting spray. I'm going to start by peeling away at the bottom first. It's all nice and flattened out. I'm just going to spray a little bit here. I'm going to flatten down the batting onto it first.
Tell them about your Martelli cutter.
My Martelli cutter is a Martelli cutter. It's for right-handed. I have an affiliate link, but I forgot to call them this week. Dang it. All right. Now I have the batting down, so it's stuck to it now, and you could readjust it if you need to, but I have it pretty flat up here. Now I need to take this top piece, and I'm going to spray. And then I'm going to flatten this down on here. So I just lay it on here first, and then I smooth it out. Seems to go just fine doing it this way. And if I need to pull something up, the cool part about the basting spray is you can adjust it. So I'm just going to smooth it out. All right, so that half is done and smooth. We're going to turn the whole entire thing around. It's nice and stiff too because of this backing fabric. I'm going to move the batting first and the top out of the way, all the way to where I could feel that the glue was. There we go. Now I'm going to spray under here first.
They say you should open your windows with the spray that you don't want to breathe it in.
No, I'm good. I'm not really, I'm mouth breathing.
Have you ever tried the basting powder?
No, I have not.
So there's no smell.
I have not tried basting powder. I don't buy anything extra or I mean, I don't think that's fancy stuff, but I haven't bought anything other than what I've always bought, because when I started long arming, I didn't really need to buy this stuff anymore, except for little projects, you know.
Does the spray get on the rest of the table and the floor?
Nope. I'm aiming it just for the quilt only. All right, so now I'm going to put this side down, and I'm going to smooth it from the center out. It does kind of stink a little, though. Yes, the spray does stink. And then when I know that it's completely flat, oops, this corner is not sprayed very well. When I know that it's completely flat, this is what I do. I turn it over like this. The whole entire project is mostly on here. I take an iron with steam and I iron it out. I'm going to pick the whole thing up, turn it around, iron this opposite side. I just move the iron in every direction till everything is super duper smooth. And that side's done. Now, flip it around and do the quilt top. Everything is perfectly square, nice and flat. Looks great. Just gonna push it against the wall for a second, get this last bit right here. And there we have a nice flat basted quilt. So you can see everything's together. Nothing's falling off. It's square, it's flat, oops. And there's a little boo-boo right here on the end. That's where I added that extra basting spray. All right, there's that. Now let's turn the camera and go over here to the quilting. See, I could have loaded it on the long arm, but I didn't. All right. Let's roll a single black bobbin because my back is black. And we're also going to get out the walking foot while I'm rolling a bobbin here.
Do you base the edges on smaller projects?
What do you mean base the edges on smaller projects?
That's the whole question. Do you base the edges on these smaller projects?
Yes, I based smaller projects.
They're talking about just the edges.
Not just the edges, I based the whole thing.
I never ironed with spray glue. Is it okay with all brands?
Yeah, should be. I've never had a problem. I've used Dritz, and there's another brand with a blue front label that I've used. I don't know the name of it, but it has a blue. I got glue on my fingers, though.
Can we get an e-transfer?
I don't know what an e-transfer is.
Yeah, I don't.
Is it for like sending money or something?
Yes.
Oh, no. The only things I have is PayPal donate, GoFundMe, and you guys can direct bank to transfer through Zelle to my email address, which is in the description below. But that you've got to make sure you type the correct email address, because or else it'll go to the who knows who. All right.
And they said they can e-transfer through their bank. Isn't that the same as Zelle? That's something totally different. I don't know.
I don't know what that is. It's probably the same as Zelle. Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. I'm going to check the tension first because this signature thread is the only thread that I have issues with tension-wise.
Do you sew base the edges?
Oh, no. I quilt it first. Oops. Go through that hole right there. Yeah, for some strange reason, my Juki does not like signature thread. It has so many problems, but we're going to use it because it's on the thread, is on the top and in the bobbin. So I'm hoping that it's good. We're crossing our fingers that this is going to go okay, but we're going to check the tension first just to make sure. Also going to grab my walking foot out. We're going to change this. The screw has to come all the way out to attach the walking foot on this machine.
Sit it on this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes, this is getting insane. Legs are melting.
All right, walking foot is attached. This is going to be loud, so this sounds like a machine gun when I start sewing with it, guys.
Oh, yes. Tiff got her machine gun foot on.
Yep, it's the machine gun foot.
Who makes signature thread? Never heard of it.
Shoot, the word. The word for it. I get it from starts with an S. Starts with an S. Superior Threads. I don't know who makes it, but they sell it. I'm hand sanitizing to get the sticky off.
How about sending money in Messenger?
I've never done that one either.
Yes, we don't know how to send money in Messenger.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something. When you hook up all these different ways to send money or claim money or anything that's hooked to your bank account, your bank account's going to email you saying there's too many. Then they're going to call you, say, okay, you got to stop connecting these things to your bank account because one of these days, one of those things is going to be spam. So we limited, because I have YouTube, my Share a Sale, now Zelle, which comes with the bank account, but I had my PayPal, my GoFundMe, all of that's connected to my bank account. So our bank finally said no more. So that's why I don't have any of that stuff, because we already had someone steal our credit cards before 2 times. So we don't, in the same year. So we don't do any extra stuff because we're broke as it is. So if someone was to try to steal our broke amount of money, we're screwed. We have nothing. So yeah, we're going to listen to the bank when they say no more. So we don't have any of that, anything that else that hooks to our bank account. Oh, tension first. Let's make sure that this tension is good first.
Now I don't have to donate money.
You guys don't have to donate money, by the way. All right, let's see. Let's change it to a... Looks pretty good to me. Good, good, good. Oh, I keep a, I have either a batting scrap like this with batting and fabric. I have tons of these. And or I keep flannel next to me or regular cotton next to me so that I can check the tension on different things that I'm needing tension for to be good, you know? I keep all those different things next to me. So I'm hoping you guys do that too, because it's good. All right. I'm going to stitch around the whole center part first. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stitch around it first by stitching in the ditch. I'm just going to start anywhere. Take a couple stitches and back stitch. And I'm just going to start stitching now. Whether it lands in the ditch or not, I'm not 100% sure. Not going to be perfect.
Oops. Gwen said she did the Zelle option, so excited. Thank you, Gwen.
Thank you, Gwen.
Whatever.
I'm going to throw this stuff out of my way real quick, though, guys, because I'm going to keep hitting it when I'm... This is such a stiff project now that I've sprayed it. I'm going to move this stuff all the way to that side. That way I don't hit it. All right. Stitching in the ditch. Or next to the ditch. Or near the ditch. I don't do this as fast as I do everything else. Definitely don't do this as fast as I do everything else. I speed through piecing and quilting, but sit down with the walking foot in a ditch, I don't speed through it.
One of us says you can do it the old-fashioned way and write a check and put it in the mail.
Yeah, you could write a check and put it in the mail. Exactly. They still make those, you know, checks. Now they're just deposited electronically. Even at the bank, because the line is so long, you just go out to the little teller thing outside and you deposit it in those things. That's still electronic.
Okay, do you have to drop the feed dogs on the Juki?
No, not for a walking foot. Walking foot has teeth on the top and on the bottom, bringing the fabric together equally. That's only for free motion.
What got you started with quilting?
Started quilting because I have MS and I wanted out of my, well, I didn't know it would get me out of my wheelchair. I wanted something to do while being stuck in the sitting on my butt position for 3 years. So I needed something to occupy myself because I started quilting before I fully stopped riding motorcycle. So it took a while in between, but I was in my wheelchair and it was hard to hold the bike up because my legs were so weak. So I stopped riding motorcycle completely when I started quilting because I just couldn't hold my bike up anymore. And I held on to my bike for a good, 2 years before. Yeah. I sold my bike for 2 years after I started quilting. I waited 2 years to get rid of that thing. But I finally said, it can't just sit here anymore, you know, because...
And tell them the story if you're going to tell it. The very day you're sold, as it was leaving the driveway, you told Scotty.
Yep, I told Scott he had to get rid of his because it would just make me want to ride still. And I don't ride on the back of a motorcycle. I'm just not that kind of girl. I'm a ride it myself kind of motorcycle girl. But if you guys didn't know, I actually used to ride dirt bikes, street bikes, very living on the edge, dangerous kind of me. That's me. So I don't anymore. I can still ride. I just can't ride anything big that's heavy. So, but I know how to ride. I used to also race sand rails. You know, the kind that goes 200 miles an hour in the sand. Yeah. I miss that. I miss that stuff. But I can't do it anymore. All right, so I went around that all the way.
What size is the quilt?
I think it's small. This thing is tiny. It's just meant to be a wall hanging. It even says it on the thing. It is, it's like 28 or something like that. 27 by 27.
And is there a Zoom tonight with Eric?
No. This is exactly 27 by 27. No quarters, no halves. That's pretty cool, actually. Means I did good. No, that's usually the first Sunday of every month for the Zooms with Eric.
Eric answered the question himself.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the first. All right, I'm going to go around it again now, but the opposite side of this red. Trying to stay in the ditch, but I'm really not in the ditch. I'm doing the best I can. It's very stiff because I ironed it too. And this is an 80-20 batting that I'm using as well. Because I know you guys are going to ask. Only because of all these seams coming together because I didn't press anything open. So all these seams kind of have a little bit of chunk to them. So 80-20 batting's kind of taking some of that in.
Can you manage a Can-Am? I don't know what that is.
A what?
A Can-Am?
No. It's a like a bike thing. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, or it's a rail. My brain is struggling to see the difference between these two fabrics because it keeps landing on red touching red. So my brain thinks it's all red. Where did I start? I don't know.
I used adhesive spray for a baby quilt. Will it always be stiff?
No, just wash it. The adhesive sprays come out in the wash. Usually the first wash. But if you use too much, it might need 2 washes. Where did I start?
Oh, they're saying it's a 3-wheeler.
Yeah, 3-wheeler. No, I didn't ride 3-wheelers. I knew it was a bike. Where did I start? Right there. Okay. I got a thread. I kept a long tail so that I could feel it. Okay, where's my tail? It's right there. There's my tail right there. Okay. All right. Back to it.
What kind of Honda did you have?
A CBR 600.
Yeah, I forgot which one because they're all saying different Hondas.
Yeah, I rode a CBR 600 street bike, not Harley type bike, street bikes, the kinds that people do stunts on and stuff, which I was able to sort of do. I was able to stand on my bike, like stand on the seat, you know, while it was riding, and I was able to pop a wheelie. That was it. Oh, and turn myself in my seat backwards while riding. That one was one that little stunt is actually what caused me to land on my hip on a big rock on the side of the road when I crashed once. All right, now I think I'm going to stitch in the ditches just in the blocks, honestly. I think that's what I'm going to do because it'll keep it from being too, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but I don't want it to be heavily quilted. I just wanted some stitching.
Get that machine gun going. Patricia says to call her if you have any questions. She said earlier she has 2 embroidery machines.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what I'm getting with the machine. I don't know if they're going to allow me. Yeah. If they're going to allow me to have classes or anything like that, you know. I don't know what I get with my little special package. It said it was worth $7,000. That's all I know. The grand prize was $7,000. That is not very straight line, but I'm going to work with it. Why? Because I don't care.
Yep, that's what Marla said. $7,000. She looked it up.
Oh, yeah. See, I knew it was something like that. And the machine is on sale right now for $4,999. So, and then the quilt package that they're giving with it and stuff. Supposedly the whole prize is $7,000.
Maybe it comes with the table then.
Maybe it does. I'm not sure. It would be nice if it comes with a table. That would help me out a lot.
What's your stitch length?
I have it set at 2.9, almost at 3. I'm not going to change it either. I usually do this at a 3, but I wasn't really paying attention. I just threw it on and started quilting. And notice I haven't had any puckering because I use the iron. I mean, only small projects do this. If you do a really big project, you'll have puckering. It's inevitable. I don't care if you spray, if you pin, whatever. There's still some amount of puckering on the back side usually that happens. But this is a small project, so I was able to iron the whole thing, and I shouldn't have any puckering on the back or front. And puckering just means like when you get to an end right here, if the fabric will fold over and create a little pucker. That's all it means. It means it pushed too much fabric. It usually happens when you're not using walking foot and you're just quilting with a regular foot.
Do you ever use the double needle for small top stitching?
No, because this machine is a single needle machine only.
Did your sewing machine come with the walking foot?
Does it come? What?
Did your sewing machine come with the walking
Yes,
foot?
it came with the walking foot. This came with lots of oops. Oh well, I cut it. This came with lots of accessories because I bought it originally to use as a mid-arm. I'm snipping on my threads now, guys.
Mommy says hi.
Hi, Mom. I'm gonna go back here and find my threads and snip those. They're black, so they're a little bit harder to see. Somewhere right here.
Well, Remo said you go on Brother's website. They have tutorials on all their machines.
Okay, good. But I saw what I watched is just like the introduction to the machine online. I haven't really had time to sit and watch like how to use it.
You've been busy, Pat.
I've been busy. Like I said, I said earlier, yesterday I filmed all day. I literally was in here all day long from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. filming. I even filmed while trying to watch other people streaming on YouTube.
We spent 2 hours sitting on the floor in the living room going through your 25-patch block this morning.
Yeah.
And you actually let me help.
All right. I went across, around the red twice. I think that's all the quilting I really want to add to this. Maybe I should echo in here. No, I'm just going to go around the whole entire thing and be done. Well, I should kind of go in this stitch right here to here on all four corners. That's what I'm going to do. I knocked my thread out, by the way. Let me do that. Yeah, from moving the quilt around right here. All right, put this back over here. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stitch in these four corners real quick. So pretty much just a little bit of quilting and it'll look okay. We'll add the binding, which should take just a minute to make because it's a very small amount. One stitch, turn it.
Linda Lou says your wall hanging is beautiful.
Thank you. Oops. The batting got caught on my little thingy that broke and I've had to get a new one, remember? A little tiny thing. The thread guide. Sorry if the quilt is rubbing on the camera. I mean on the microphone. I can't control that. I wanted to flip up. 2. This is number 3 corner. And I'm back stitching at the edge of the quilt right here. Stitch. Turn. Corner 3 and one more. And then I'll stitch around the whole entire thing real quick. 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. Or right at the edge. It don't really matter how far away. And then I'll trim it. And then it'll be ready for binding, which I'll do right here as well. All right. There's that. Let's stitch all the way around it.
Linda, you know you could back stitch with the walk-in foot?
Yes. These are falling again. Yes, you could back stitch with a walking foot.
Are you putting the hanging sleeve on it or no?
No.
No hanging sleeve.
No hanging sleeve. I can add hangers to it. Which are hooks. Can they see that on the wall right there?
Yeah, no, they can't.
I'll show you guys in 2 seconds. one more side. No, two more sides. A small pucker, which will be hidden by
Diane says that she always knew that quilt was a winner.
yes.
Remember when you started putting it together?
Yep. All right, now I can put all this over here. I'm gonna turn the camera down so you guys can watch me trim this up. Camera's moving. There we go. So now I need to trim the project so that I can add binding. And then after I show you guys this, I'm going to show you guys the hanging things that I do. So I'm going to trim a nice straight line by lining my ruler up. This is a very square little quilt, so I really don't have to like come in at an angle or anything. It is nice and straight at the ends perfectly. So I just peel the batting off because I'm not going to use it, and then I put the cutoffs into my scraps.
Where can they see the quilt that won with it?
On the Facebook group, but yeah, in the Facebook group. It's in the Facebook group. I should post a picture to my community tab here on YouTube for you guys to see, because I know a lot of you don't use Facebook. There's a picture in my Instagram probably.
What machine do you like best for free motion quilting?
My long arm.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. This Juki, I don't like the Juki for free motion quilting, but I mean, that's not to say that it's not good at it. I just don't like the free motion quilt anymore, so I really didn't like it in the first place. You guys can see how easy this is to trim a quilt that lays super duper square. All right. So this is just now scraps.
You free motion quilt on the long arm?
Yeah, I free motion quilt on the long arm. Yeah. All right, so there's the little project. You could see my stitching, a little wobble right there and a little wobble right there, but I really don't care because it's just a wall hanging and from far away you can't even tell. All right, I'm going to move that to the side. We're going to cut, how many strips can I get from here? I think this is enough for 2 strips of binding worth. Yep, looks like it. This is from the little kit, so I'm just going to cut. Oh, it has us doing 2 1/4 inch binding. That's why there's what there is there for 3 strips. Right?
Diane says it's a nice baby size quilt. Everybody's saying pretty and looks nice.
Black. Yeah, they have 2 1/4 inch, so I was able to get 3 from here. So we're going to do 2 1/4 inch binding. Oh no, you can't get 3. See, look at that. Cheap. Oh well. I'm still doing 2 1/4 inch binding, and then this strip can go in my random strings. And if I need more, we're going to cut from this, a 2 1/4 inch piece, so that I know for a fact it's going to go all the way around, because I get very anxious when it doesn't look like I have enough binding. All right. We're going to make that binding in 2 seconds. I'm going to show you guys how I do my wall hanging hooks, usually when I do them. All right, camera's moving. Do you see those hooks on the top of that? Those are what I usually do. These ones have a sleeve on the back. These 2 have a sleeve on the back. But the rest of them, I put these cool hanging hooks. So, don't mind the light. This one, I don't have a hanging sleeve on it, so it's up there with clothespins, as you can see. And then these ones back here, those have the hooks on them. So I can make the hooks really little. I can make them bigger. I just make hooks. But I could also do like a partial sleeve as well. Camera's moving all the way around back to here. All right. And I usually use the binding, leftover cuts from the binding. Once it goes all the way around, those leftover pieces, I cut them real quick, press them, and then make hooks. But for this, I don't know if I should make hooks or not. I mean, I can, but I really don't want to spend all that extra time. All right, I'm going to hook the 3 of these strips together so that I know for a fact it'll go all the way around. Right sides together. I'm going to sew corner to corner. I'm just going to keep the walking foot on, but I'm going to change my stitch length back down to a 2. And I'm going to grab this piece and flip it and attach this right here. That way I know for a fact I have enough binding. All right, I'm going to trim away the excess.
You're going to use your little new binding?
Yeah. I was going to show them that finally, now that I have something to bind.
Well, you got 2 free quilts over here.
Yep. All right, toss that out of the way. And now I'm going to take this over and we are going to switch out irons because I'm going to give you guys a little demonstration on the easy. Hold on, I got to see what it's called again. I forgot already.
Well, I can get up and look.
The Quilted Hearts Binding Ease. I'm going to show you guys how that works because I have a Quilting Hearts Binding Ease. That's the right here. I think Fat Quarters Shop and Connecting Threads have it now. And I'm affiliate with those 2 places. We're going to come over here, camera's moving, to the ironing board so that we can show you this cool little tool.
It has padded walls. I love it.
Yeah.
Because you got quilts all over.
Yep. All right. This is the Quilted Hearts binding tool. Yeah, I'm gonna explain why it has to be that iron real quick. I need to move some stuff out of the way, guys. All right. Move this out of the way. The other brand, by the way, of quilting basting spray that I get is this one right here. Taylor is this one. So I get Dritz when they have it and Taylor when they don't have Dritz. But I prefer Dritz because this one's a little bit more stinkier. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. Yeah. Yeah. Dritz is the cheapest one that Walmart sells.
The cheap one at Walmart.
All right. In front of the camera. Sorry. Here's our binding. I'm going to show you guys this cool tool. First of all, this is a, what is it called again? There's a word. Silicone. This is a silicone mat. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. By Quilted Hearts. And it's for binding. So it has these cool slits right here. You can see that we're going to be sliding the binding through. But before I get to using this with you guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if you have one of those mini irons, those little small ones, that's probably your best bet. I don't own one of those, and I prefer my reliable iron, my compact vapor generator, velocity censored reliable. I love this thing. But unfortunately, when this is sitting on top of this right here, it weighs too much. So I have to drag my binding through here and it stretches it. Bad, bad, bad. Don't do that because our binding is biased anyway. And there's some stretch to it. It always, always, always stretches. So even if it's on the straight of grain, cut the straight of grain, it still yanks it and stretches it because it wants to pull on the bias of the fabric as you're doing it. So don't use a heavy duty iron. What you actually need is the most lightweight iron that you own. Here is a Walmart Proctor Select. This thing weighs, let's see, if I hold it with my pinky, that's probably like not even a pound. Maybe it's like 13 ounces or less. Anyway, when I fill it with water, obviously it's going to weigh more, but I don't need water for this. We're going to stick this
Eric wants
here.
to know where Squeak is. We said this
Squeak,
8 million times, Eric.
Squeak took a squeaky death.
Before you guys even went to the quilt show
Yeah.
together, Eric. Where have you been? We've told you that.
Squeak's cord somehow between the cord right here, because they all do this, you know, somewhere between the cord hooking and the underside of the iron, we took it apart on Squeak, and all those wires were like tangled funny and they looked weird, but they weren't burnt or anything. And for some reason, it wouldn't turn on anymore. He just died. He up and died. So no more Squeak, although Squeak was a great iron. Anyway, so what I'm getting at, yeah.
Tried to fix him.
Scott tried to fix Squeak, but it didn't work. All right, so the iron is plugged in. This is how this thing works. And I know I'm probably going to be blocking the camera. I'm going to move you guys real quick. Moving. We're going to kind of put you to the side. My Juki come with a ruler foot? No, it did not. I had to buy that separately. All right, so this is how this thing works. The first thing we're going to do, once the iron is warm, which it should be by now, so I'm going to press these seams to one side or the other. Doesn't matter which one. You can press them open if that's what you prefer. I don't. I just press them to the side. We're going to start by pressing these seams, just like that. Second thing we're going to do, you guys get a demonstration of this cool little product that I don't even sell. But you're going to know how to use it. Is we're going to start by folding it in half. Fat Quarter Shop and Connecting Threads may have it. Missouri, yeah, I'm affiliate with those, yes. We're going to start by making a start. So that way, with Fat Quarter Shop and Connecting Threads. Oh, with both of them? Yes. We're going to slide our folded binding where the fold part comes towards us so that your thumb can go in there, okay? And then we're going to slide the other end through this other side right here so that your fingers can grab it. And this is how it's going to work. And I'm hoping we're going to zoom in because I really want you guys to see this. I'm hoping that I don't block the camera at all, but I want you to see what I'm doing. All right. We're going to hold this at the fold. I usually press binding in half by using my thumb in the center and use my first finger to line up where it's going to land. So I always keep that flattening on this side. The second thing we're going to do is we're just going to place the iron on top of this silicone mat. My iron is probably going to talk to me, and it's so light that you can see the iron wants to move. See? Because it's so light. But the little side thing is going to keep it from coming off this mat. And all I'm doing is on this other side, I'm just pulling this through like this. And it's flattening it as I go. So I just line this side up, pull it through, line this side up, pull it through. Just remember this side's going to be kind of hot because it takes a minute to pull it through. And plus my iron has water in it, so it's going to kind of steam. And the mat, the silicone mat, gets hot as this is happening. I'm at a seam now, so there's going to be a seam coming through right here. And it goes over that nicely. Line up binding. Just keep going. Using my fingers to line it up. Pulling the other side. I'm not trying to pull too hard because I don't want to stretch my fabric. This iron might be a little too light already. But you want a little light iron. Okay, I'm just going to keep lining it up and pulling it through. Again, it's going to get hot if you don't pull through too fast. Then you're going to start heating up the one hand and you're going to burn yourself. So be very careful with that. We're just pulling it through. I really want you guys to see this. So I'm hoping that my arm isn't blocking it too much. Is it, Scotty?
Yeah, kind of. I asked them if they want me to move the camera around and no.
So I'm just pulling through on the other side, lining it up, pulling it through the whole way down. And I'm almost to the end now. Just going to hold that all the way up to the edge. And ready, aim, pull it through. Done. So now I have binding. I'm going to pick this up, and you can see it heated the silicone up and it kind of turned it a little bit dark. Can you see that? That'll go away. as it cools down. It's just really, really hot. You can see where water is up here from it kind of steaming. That, again, will go away when it cools down. So there we have binding with the Quilted Hearts. Hold on, I got to get the name of it again. Quilted Hearts Binding Ease. They do have a website, guys, in case you want to just look that up. I'm not being sponsored by them at all, but it's quiltedhearts.com. Quiltedhearts.com. So
How big of a binding can you do using this?
up to 4, the lady said up to 4.5 inches. Eric, you're here, right? She said 4.5 inches, didn't she? Eric's here. He was there with me. We got these because the QuiltCon, they were demoing it. So that's why we bought these. Eric bought one too. All right, guys, camera's moving. We're going to go back the other place now where we usually hang out over here on this side of the room.
Well, Eric said he thought this was 2.5.
No, it goes up to 4.5 inches. I'm pretty sure of it. Let's see if the back says.
Give me the paper. You go work. You do something.
Doesn't say it on there. All right, here's our binding. I do not want to bind with a walking foot on. I absolutely cannot stand binding with a walking foot on, so I'm going to take this darn thing off. I don't know what it is, if it's just because my brain can't wrap around the fact that I need to stay at 1/4 inch for my attaching, but...
What if we just measured the width of the opening? You fold the binding in half, right?
Yeah.
So you take the width of the opening and the thing and double it.
Yep.
Okay. We'll math this out.
Scott's going to math it for you guys.
See, the width of the opening is almost 2. No, it's 2 inches.
So yeah, it takes 4 inch then. 4 or 4.5. Well, how wide is this? That's 2 3/4. Trying to find a piece that's wide enough that we could shove it through, but I don't have anything right here that's that size. I'm pretty sure she said it was 4.5. That's all I know.
I don't.
Either way, do we ever make binding that's 4.5 inches? No, we don't.
Julie thought Squeak was a cat.
Nope.
No,
Squeak
was the best iron.
Was the best shark iron. Eric has it. He showed it in his video like 2 videos ago or 3 videos ago when we were talking about irons on his video. Yeah. He has the same exact one that I had. All right. I always attach my binding to the back and then flip it to the front. That's just what I'm used to and what I like to do. I also like to kind of make sure that there's no seam landing in the corner. And I kind of just pretend like I'm, attaching it and go, oh, hey, look, no seam is landing in a corner. And then the other one shouldn't either. So I'm just going to give myself a little tail. I'm going to line this up. I'm also going to change my stitch length to 2.5. It doesn't really need to be that tight when you're putting binding on. And that's going to get knocked over. But so far, I like that little binding thing. I just wish it would take my better iron. But you know what? It's still folded flat. I didn't have any puckers or anything. It folded flat in half. So as long as you pay attention, but you do get your one hand from the pulling side gets a little bit warm. So just watch that when, if you guys get one of those. It's definitely half an iron you're binding anyway. So I don't think it takes any extra time. It was $35 at the QuiltCon, so I don't know what its regular price is. Don't ask me. But
Eric says he has Squeak's cousin Squirt.
Squeak's cousin Squirt, that's right. Yep. All right, so I'm just folding I fold it to one side. How binding is done. I'm not really trying to show how binding is made here. We were just wanting to demo that little thing for you guys. That binding tool. And then I also have the binding wheel, so I could pull from that and just wind up on my binding wheel. Obviously, I don't have time to do that right now, but I could just go from folding it with one hand, and instead of pulling it through, my wheel can just roll it through on the opposite side. So it rolls up. But this was too small of a piece of binding for that.
Can you show slowly how you miter your corners?
Yeah, we'll bring the camera up close then. Wasn't planning on it, but I'll bring the camera up close so you can see.
I can move the camera.
No, it's fine. I gotta unplug it for this. All right, camera's gonna move. Sorry about this, guys, but some people want to see things. I'm gonna come over here, and you're gonna come right next to me, and I'm hoping that you can see. I don't have my other camera. I'm not hooked to the computer today, guys. So.
I could have done all that. Huh? Sit down and work. You don't have an hour.
Okay.
You're doing everything. Why can't I do something?
All right.
I'm sitting here with this thing melting my legs. I would love to move.
Here we go. I'm gonna come up right here. I don't do my binding like everyone else. I don't sew off to the side. I actually come up to 1/4 inch before the edge and I stop and I backstitch. So I'm so used to where that 1/4 inch is that I just kind of know where to stop. Oops. And we got a tangle up here.
Why do you not sew the binding to the back first?
I sewed it to the back first. This is the back. And I just
Okay.
realized, oh no, it's not puckered. That's just a not folded fabric. Anyway, here it is coming off towards me. I'm going to pick it up and bring it like this, straight. It's not. Up straight from this right here. And then I crease it, hold it, fold it up onto itself, just like this. And then I hold it there. I turn my whole project, which is going to hit this frame.
Okay, well, she meant to say the front. Why do you not sew it to the front first?
Oh, because I don't like it. Look, I like the look of the bordery look that happens when you sew it from the back to the front. All right, and then I backstitch on there from the edge, and then I sew it on. So you guys are going to get so much movement being right there. Back you up a little bit. I like the look of it from the back to the front. It's a personal preference, and it's all done by machine, so I don't really care. As long as it's on there. I get pretty good mitered corners, so again, I stop 1/4 inch before the edge. I fold it, I flip it. Some people sew off the edge, and this wasn't enough. Is it? Is it? Oh my God, that's just barely enough. I am glad I hooked that 3rd strip. Oh. And I slide it under and sew it on. Just like this. Again, I come up to this edge, stop 1/4 inch from the edge, fold it up. Like I said, I'm so super used to doing this that it just comes natural for me to stop 1/4 inch and flip. There's been a couple times I've been in a hurry and I've actually stitched all the way off the edge accidentally because I was in a hurry and not paying attention. I've had to pluck those extra stitches out, but all right, I'm going to stop here so that I can connect the two. So we're going to back the camera up a little bit right to here so you guys can see. I'm going to turn it right here. Keep it nice and flat. This is a 2 1/4 inch. Where is my, oh, there it is. I need my ruler for this, guys. So I'm going to straighten this little edge and take off the selvage right about here. Then I'm going to take and lay this nice and flat. Can you see that? Just a little bit more. Nice and flat right here. I'm going to stick my ruler on here 2¼ inches. This is a 2½ inch ruler, so I'm just going to go to the 2¼ inch mark. I hold the ruler down on there. I bring the other side over, and all I do is slide my scissors in up between this piece only, this one only. You don't want to go between the two. And then I slide them in to the ruler, and then I make a cut. And every now and then I have to straighten the cut because it's not perfectly straight.
So
just
you
like
sew
that.
it on from the edge?
What do you mean, sew it on from the edge?
You've been talking.
Exactly how I do this. And now we're going to take this to the
The
machine.
question was asked a while ago.
Oh.
Probably when you were at the edge. I don't know. You sew it on from the edge.
No. I sew it on from the edge. Yes, I sew in from the end. That way when I flip it, it's completely, so 500 and something. I'm like, what was it, 580 something? I don't even remember now. Actually, there's more because I've done like 6 more quilts since I said that. And that includes little quilts too, guys. That's all quilts. Anything that's a quilt. Anyway, all right, let's put this seam together now. So I'm going to take this end and I'm going to open it up. So where my fold is facing up, because that's the fold from pressing the fabric. And this one is going to go fold facing down like this, on it like an L. And I don't really ever pin this part. I just kind of hold it here and I bunch my fabric up like this, the little quilt. And I didn't undo enough, so I got to be very careful right here at this edge. Take a couple stitches, change my stitch length, and I'm going to sew towards that other corner. I make sure that it's good, and obviously it is. And then I cut away the excess, a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You guys can tell I do a lot of binding, right? It goes super quick.
You're a binding pro.
Yeah, this is so quick. This is probably the quickest part of the whole entire quilt for me. All right, and then I just finger press this with my finger, very carefully like, and put my seam guide. I always use the seam guide. It helps with binding, having a seam guide, because, well, it just helps. I come about 1 inch above where I ended, and then I just hold my project, just like that, and that's it. It's on. And every now and then, like right here, I have the tiniest little pucker because, you know, I can't get it perfectly flat. There's no such thing. And here is the part you guys really want to see. Oops, let's flip the whole project. And we're going to put the binding to the front now. So I pull the binding around to the front. I don't use clips. I don't see no need to really, unless I'm doing something that's fancy. I don't really ever use clips. So I pull it around to the front. This is 2 1/4 inch binding, so it's going to be tight. It's going to be super duper tight. But we're going to make this work. I'm going to start it right here real quick. I'm about 1/8 inch away from the edge. And then I'm going to pull this down here. So I'm going to flatten it out and pull this down here, and I'm going to pinch it at the end. And then before I get to here, I'm just going to hold this down right here, and then I'll zoom in a second. Let me get this side done first, and then I'll zoom in and show you guys the next one. So I'm going to come right up to it, 1 stitch into it and 1 stitch out of it. Leave my needle down, turn the whole thing, keep it nice and folded, start stitching, and then I have a nice perfect mitered corner. And I always use my fingers to guide. So like I fold it, you know, like this.
When you sew your binding strips together, do you open your seams?
No, I keep them closed. I don't bother with any open seams. I'm really don't care about an open seam. It's still spread out, the seam is, so it doesn't really matter to me. All right, and I use my fingers right up to the machine as I sew, and then I move them out of the way as I'm going.
How wide did you cut the strip?
2 1/4 inches. It's a very small binding. It's very tight. Oops. I got stuck on something. I don't know. I think it's hitting this tape. My tape is coming up from my seam tape.
We have plenty of that seam.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put more on. I'm going to wait till after we clean the machine, though. Maybe it's because I'm out of Am I out of bobbin? No, I'm not out of bobbin. All right, we're going to come close so you guys can see this. Zoom in all the way down right there. Can you see that really good? I'm hoping so. All right. I'm holding it down just like this, and I come to about right here. I'm going to pinch this corner right here. And I want all these threads to stay under. We're going to pinch that corner. It's kind of hard because I went a little too close, but I wanted to be zoomed in. Stay right there. And then I put it on top of the other corner like this. So I put those two corners together. And then I just hold them. I stitch right up to it. And I take one stitch into that corner and one stitch out and one stitch back into it. We're going to very carefully turn this. And I'm hoping I don't knock the camera down. And it's good to have a knee lift for stuff like this so I can continue on my stitching. And I'm going to show you guys the previous corner. Right there. Can you see that? That is the previous corner. So you can see I took one stitch into it. I leave it open. I don't seal it like people that when they hand stitch. But that's what all my mitered corners look like. I like it on the front. I've always liked it on the front since I started doing this. Since I started quilting, I've always liked my binding on the front. We're going to just leave you zoomed in right there.
Yeah, it's fine. They say you're a pro binder.
Yeah. So I use my fingers to keep the binding down so that the lips don't fold, because this lip takes the chance of folding back as you come up to your foot. So I use my fingers, and you can, oops, see, it happened again. I use my fingers to hold it down. Let's get it lined back up. Sometimes that happens. I use my fingers to hold it down as I come up to it, and then I move my fingers out of the way. So I pre-fold, my fingers hold it, and then I move my fingers out of the way. I pre-fold, hold it down with my fingers. I never let my fingers go under the foot. I pull them away as I go. As that quilt is sliding through my fingers, I let the quilt slide with it, you know, not my fingers. All right, here we are at another corner. I'm just going to pinch this and fold this. And I'm going to put those two corners together as cornery as I can cornery get them, even with little pieces of thread sticking out. And I'm going to stitch right up to it. I'm going to take one stitch into it and one stitch out of that corner. Use my knee lift because I need my fingers to help hold this down. Stitch a little bit and then continue on. I haven't done a 2 1/4 inch binding in a while, so it's kind of tight.
You're so clever. Do you ever do the flange binding?
Yes, I've done flange binding. I haven't done it in a while. I actually have a video on it somewhere on my channel. I don't even know what the video is called. I just know I did flange. I think I've only done one video on flange binding, though. I try to tuck in all these stray threads, too, because I don't care about those. I don't snip them away. I just tuck them in. They're stitched in there permanently. This is my last corner? Yes, it is. Last corner. So I pinch it.
Are you going to put the hooks on this?
No, I'm not putting any hooks.
Jen asked if you chose the hooks.
Yeah, I didn't cut anything. There wasn't enough to cut for hooks, and I don't feel like digging through scraps to make hooks.
We can just show them on the other one what they look like. If you're zoomed in.
So my quilt never comes out of the corner because I left it there. I left the needle down. I always leave the needle down at my turn. Every now and then, I also kind of give a little tug to the quilt because I think I really need to change out my tape.
You're a good teacher.
So I'm just folding it. And here we come to the beginning. You can see I just need to kind of give it a little hold so that I don't flip. Flip this seam hitting at the edge of that foot. And then I come right up to that starter stitch. Snip that away. And I'm going to back stitch right beyond it. And then I'm just going to cut the thread and snip away the stupid thread cut on the back. So.
Did you machine bind your winning quilt?
Yes. Everything I do is machine bind. I don't bind by hand. So there's another corner. Stay. And third corner. So you can see sometimes they're not perfect. It's a little bit over. It's not exactly at the edge, but I was trying to do it on video. But it lays nicely. I like the look of it on the front. Like this. And that's the fourth corner. So when you look, let me move this real quick. All this stuff that's falling everywhere. We're going to lay this quilt right here.
While you're zoomed in, show them the hook things up close that you're talking about. I don't think they understand.
And hold on, guys. There you guys go. There's that for a second. So it's completely bound. See, on the front, I like it to the front. I don't know why I do. I think it just adds a little bit more lip to it. And I think it looks good. And while I'm right here, we're going to go up and look at these hooks up close so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. See the hook? The hook is in, Scott, you're going to have to hold the camera then. The hook is put into the binding as I sew the binding on. Right there. Right there. Sorry guys for the movement, but it's hooked into the binding. It's just a piece of binding cut off but folded into 4s instead of 2s, and then folded in half and stitched, and then I binding. That's how I do. Tuck them and not hang it and just use it on a table or something. Obviously that's very sloppy stitching on that one. I was in a hurry when I did this video for this quilt right here. Oh my God, stay camera. Why does it do that?
I don't know.
Right there, stop. There. Now you can go that way.
Am I going all the way back?
Oh. Would you stop? You got to tighten this. That's why I do it, so you can hold this at the same time. All right.
Would you stop?
There.
I want to go down and show them the whole quilt.
Can't show them when it's on here.
Okay, plus you put it on the cord, so I'm just going to move it again.
So here it is. It's actually directional now because I put directional fabric on the back.
What size did it come out to?
It is 27 by 27. Oops, there's a thread right there. Came out 27 by 27. So there it is. So it has deer on the back. Why? Because I had it and it kind of matches this fabric. It kind of goes with the theme of the fabric almost. So, but as you can see, that's why I like my binding to the front. I like it to show. So there it is. It's perfect. And this one could just be hung with putting a pin in the corners. You know, what is it called? Pin. A thumbtack pin, you know, the black one. Those, I have them up there. You just use one of those. Put it in the corner right here, you know, and hang it up.
Beautiful.
I like it. I usually go through real quick and check the binding and make sure that it caught the whole way, because I did use black thread on black binding. And it caught the whole way so far.
Can you show the binding on the back?
Yeah, you can't even see it. It's black. So it's black. It's hard to even tell. It's just a black binding.
Oh, it's a deer. Deer look good.
All right, caught that whole seam. I just make sure real quick. It's hard to see black on black. You guys know that. And nothing is off. And that looks good. All 4 sides. Ta-da! Okay. So I finally finished my project. Again, this was a kit. So you can find kits like this if you sign up for the Open Gates Quilt. Open Gate Quilts. They, I think, are full though, but they have a waiting list. I'm pretty sure. I think it's Open Gate Quilts that's full right now. If Becca was here, she'd be able to say yes. But
she wasn't here. I don't know if she still is.
that was the old school pattern that came in one of their boxes. I don't know how long ago this box was, but it's adorable. And I just have to de-thread it.
Should I show them the bag of quilts?
The what?
The bag of quilts?
What bag?
The one you just read.
Oh, no, you don't need to. I showed it in the last
Becca
video.
Put in their thing.
Yeah.
OpenGatesQuilt.com.
Thank you, Becca. Yeah, I don't think they have, I thought I saw some when I was stitching the seams. Oh, there it is right there. Some fabric or some threads coming through the seams. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they just have a waiting list now, because Monique was saying on Becca's last live stream that I think they sold out of boxes.
Yeah, Becca says they're full wait list
Yeah.
only.
Wait list only. So, but if you want stuff like that, I guess project boxes are the way to go. I honestly can't afford project boxes, but I'm glad I have a friend who sometimes doesn't want to do the project, and she sends them to me. So thank you, Becca. Anyways, that's done. I'm done. That's all I got. Was this little project. It finally finished, 2 videos worth. So if you guys didn't catch the first part, it was done in last week's video. Last week's Sew Sunday. It's named
Like
the
the
same
13th.
thing. Somewhere around the 13th.
Well,
So
today's the 20th, so 7 days ago, yeah.
yeah. So that's that. Now I have other things to do, but I don't want to do it on camera. So it's time to get off of here. Does anybody have any questions before I get off of here for the night? Since I've been on for 2 hours.
Your mom says it looks great.
Thank you, Mommy. I like the deer on the back. I'm glad I had a yard of that.
I like the deer on the back too. I think it worked out.
Well, it's female deer and male deer. You can tell just by the design of them.
The rack.
That, yeah, by their rack. That's a male, and this one little with the head to the side is a female.
The antlers.
Antlers, that's the word for
They
it.
call it a rack.
Yeah, they call it a rack.
That's a term for it. We're not being naughty there.
Anyways, nobody has anything?
Saying good night. Thank you. I guess
All
we're
right,
good.
guys.
I guess
And
we're
when
good.
and just a quick thing, real quick, one more time. When I get my new machine, I will do a live stream unboxing of it. It's going to be a big box, so it's going to take me and Scott both to live stream, figure this one out. And it's just going to go right here on the desk to do it for you guys. And if it doesn't work right here, we'll do it from the living room or something, because I don't know where we're putting the machine temporarily.
Can you do a tutorial on flange?
I can do a new one on flange binding. I'll have to find something to put flange binding on, but yes, I can do a new tutorial on flange binding, because my old one is very blurry video probably. The ironing board was on that side of the room, and I had my tall square table here. So, yeah, I haven't had, I haven't done it in a while.
Like I said, she can't wait to give you embroidery projects.
All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Hope everybody enjoyed today's video and had a wonderful chat. And that's
thank you
all. Thank you for
for
those that donated. Thank you so much. And I appreciate it. Trust me, I do. What else? I was going to say something else. I forgot. Don't forget to check out my affiliate links if you guys want to purchase anything online. They're in the description below every video and on my About Me page. You can see them. They're highlighted in blue. You can just click on them. If you would like to support my channel further, I just get a small portion of your sale, and it doesn't cost you a dime. So that's it. That's how I support my channel, by the way, guys. So I will see you when I see you. Tomorrow there'll be a video at 7 a.m. and then Wednesday at 7 a.m. there'll be a 25 patch block video. So stay tuned for those, and that's all I got. I don't know when I'll be live next. Bye, everybody.
Night.
Nighty night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bag bugs bite. I can't say that.